For the past 58 years, CUC has strived to be more than just an electricity provider. We have sought to be a foundational company. We give back to our community, and with the hard work and dedication of our employees, we have built and maintained one of the safest and most reliable electricity grids in the region. As we all look to the future, we at CUC want the Grand Cayman community to have confidence that our commitment to you will continue. Join us as we continue this journey together at empoweringcayman.com.
When you run your own business, you have a career as an accountant, stock taker, delivery driver, therapist, legal expert, mother, father, and the rest. But there's one area you don't need to be an expert in. At Brava, we take the complexity out of your business solutions. We keep it simple, so you can get along with doing what you do. Brava, the Simplify My Business company.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the fourth of 19 candidate forums for the 2025 general elections in the Cayman Islands, proudly hosted by the Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce. My name is Omari Corbin, and I am honored to serve as the current president of the Chamber of Commerce. I'm also pleased to be one of the panelists posing questions to our candidates this evening. Before we begin, I would like to sincerely thank the two Savannah candidates, Ms. Heather Bodden and Ms. Donna Bush, for accepting our invitation to participate in tonight's forum. By appearing together on this platform, you demonstrate a shared commitment to the democratic process and to the people of Savannah. Your presence signals your readiness to address the pressing issues raised by the community through a recent chamber survey, which has helped shape the questions we'll be asking tonight. While time won't allow us to cover every question submitted, we will do our best to focus on the topics identified as most important to the voters in the Cayman Islands and Savannah. When the Chamber was founded in 1965, it was built on the principles of supporting, promoting, and protecting the interests of our members and the wider community. Remaining strictly nonpartisan, we have proudly hosted these candidate forums every election year since 1988. We've provided a neutral platform for 9 elections, allowing voters to hear directly from those seeking public office and helping our community make informed decisions on election day. The questions for tonight's forum have been carefully developed based on past and current chamber surveys, our 3-year advocacy agenda, and submissions from the public in various constituencies. No candidate has received these questions in advance, ensuring a fair and open discussion. As an organization committed to supporting a strong and sustainable Cayman, the Chamber's advocacy efforts focus on 3 key pillars: building a future-ready workforce, sustaining economic success, and advancing quality of life. The newly elected Chamber Council believes that these pillars are fundamental to the continued growth and prosperity of our islands. Looking ahead, the Chamber intends to collaborate with the incoming government to develop a government accountability scorecard, ensuring accountability and transparency. Additionally, we will seek representation on key government boards and authorities, as we believe our members bring valuable expertise that can help shape effective policies and initiatives. These forums require months of coordination, and I'd like to acknowledge the tremendous efforts of Will and the Chamber staff who have worked diligently behind the scenes. I'd also like to express our gratitude to Ashley Furniture and Home Store, Foster's, CUC, and Logic for their generous sponsorships, which have made these forums possible. Additionally, we appreciate our media partners, Cayman Mall Road, Cayman Live TV, and ICCI FM for broadcasting tonight's event. We are live streaming the forums, making it easier than ever for voters to tune in from the comfort of their homes. We hope this added accessibility encourages even greater participation in the democratic process. And now, it's time to begin. I'll turn the proceedings over to Will Panu, CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, who will serve as tonight's moderator. Will outline the forum's rules and introduce our Savannah candidates.
Good evening, candidates.
Good evening.
Here are the rules for tonight's forum. Each candidate will be asked 10 questions. You'll have 2 minutes to elaborate on each question if you choose to do so. I'll notify you when the timer is elapsed with a ring on the ringer, and that means I would ask you to wrap up the response to your question at that time. Each candidate will be allowed to answer the question without interruption and is free to differ with an opinion or position of your fellow candidate during your allotted response time. And we'd ask that candidates deal solely with the issues, and at the conclusion of the forum, each candidate will be allowed 2.5 minutes to deliver a closing statement. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce our candidates for Savannah. We begin with Heather Bodden. Heather is the Caymanian Community Party candidate for Savannah. Her life is characterized by service and dedication to community and country. Born to the late J. and Mary Bodden in Georgetown and raised in Savannah, Newlands area, she has committed her life to helping others and working for the betterment of all residents in Savannah. In 2021, she was elected a Member of Parliament for the Savannah constituency. During her current term, she has served as Parliamentary Secretary to the Ministries of Tourism and Social Development, as well as Deputy Speaker. Now an independent member of the opposition, she is also a member of the Public Accounts Committee from 2021 to 2025. She's an activist and organizer. Ms. Heather served as a Bodden Town member of the Legislative Assembly, now Parliament, from 1995 until 2000. During her tenure, she brought motions that resulted in significant community initiatives, such as the introduction of disabled parking spots and the creation of a safe house for battered and abused women and children island-wide, known as the Crisis Center. As a dedicated member of the TCCP, Ms. Heather's leadership is defined by a deeply ingrained people-first philosophy. She understands that the success of any Member of Parliament position hinges on the ability to truly represent the community they serve. This commitment is evident in her tireless efforts to ensure that the authentic voices, pressing needs, and genuine concerns of the people are not only heard, but also actively shape the direction of the TCCP. Welcome, Ms. Heather.
Thank you, Will.
Donna Bush is the People Progressive Movement's candidate for Savannah. For 3 decades, she hasn't just reported Cayman's news, she has shaped our national conversation. As Cayman's longest-serving television broadcaster and the trusted face of CITV 33 and Cayman 27, she brings unmatched credibility and communication skills to her candidacy for Savannah. For the past 12 years, Donna has served in government communications, listening to Caymanians and demonstrating her commitment to transparent public engagement. However, her impact extends far beyond broadcasting. She has mentored countless young Caymanians, particularly women, through her media workshops and pageantry coaching, opening doors to career opportunities and building confidence in the next generation. Now she has taken her lifetime of service to the next level by stepping into leadership with the PPM. This isn't just a new chapter in her career, it's the culmination of decades of preparing to make an even more significant difference for Savannah and all Caymanians. Donna says that she will address Savannah's cost of living with immediate relief measures while implementing targeted solutions to improve housing affordability and healthcare access. She'll transform Savannah's infrastructure while protecting the environment and leverage her extensive mentorship experience to create meaningful opportunities for youth. With those introductions, we're going to now take a short commercial break. And when we return, we begin the questions to deliver the questions for this evening. Please stay tuned.
Why is my bill higher? These days, it might seem like the cost of everything is going up here in Cayman. When it comes to your energy bill, this may be no exception. You may be wondering why your bill is higher when you haven't done anything different in your home. Here are some common factors that will increase your energy usage. As temperatures outside increase, your air conditioning unit has to run longer to keep your house cool, even if you haven't adjusted the thermostat. During the summer months, cooling your home can make up more than half of your energy bill. It's important to maintain your AC so that it can function as efficiently as possible. Changing your AC filters can also help with ensuring units are functioning properly. Remember, for every degree you turn up your thermostat, you can save on your monthly energy cost. Turn off your AC when no one is home. Thermostat should not be set any lower than 78 degrees. Also consider closing blinds and drapes on the sunny side of your home. This will help reduce the temperature inside your home. Remember to consider energy waste. Think about the items in your home that are using energy, like gaming computers and ceiling fans. Always unplug and turn these items off when they are not in use or needed. This will help you conserve. Now that you have some energy saving tips, you can track your consumption daily on MyCUC. Learn more at www.cuc-cayman.com.
When you run your own business, you have a career as an accountant, stock taker, delivery driver, therapist, legal expert, mother, father, and the rest. But there's one area you don't need to be an expert in. At Brava, we take the complexity out of your business solutions. We keep it simple, so you can get along with doing what you do. Brava, the Simplify My Business company.
Welcome back to the Chamber of Commerce Candidates Forum for the constituency of Savannah. I've welcomed both candidates, Ms. Heather Bodden and Ms. Donna Bush. Now we're going to turn it over to some questions, and I'll turn it over to Chamber President Omari Corbin.
Thank you, Will. Ms. Bodden, we'll start with you for question number 1.
Thank you very much.
Can you share why you have decided to run in this year's election and how you intend to represent the people of Savannah if elected?
Thank you very much. I certainly will. Good evening, Cayman, the people of Savannah, my opponent, Ms. Bush, and our gracious host, the Chamber of Commerce. I am here to seek re-election as a Member of Parliament representing my beloved home, Savannah. The Savannah community has been at the heart of my purpose my whole life. I was born and raised in Newlands and Savannah to parents who lived and believed in serving others and who taught us the importance of being humble, kind, and honest. My life has been committed to bringing these values to serving my community, and I have served Bodden Town and Savannah in the Legislative Assembly and the House of Parliament with passion and without complaint for 3 terms. Both of us, seeking to represent Savannah, are known to the community in different ways. My opponent has been a professional presenter for a very long time. For an even longer time, I have been on the ground working tirelessly in my community for my Savannah people and for our nation. Anyone who dares to say that Heather Bodden does not work hard in Savannah does not live in Savannah. I spend time every week making sure that the vulnerable, elderly, and youth in our community are cared for, and I attend to the needs of Savannah families every day of the week. I have never treated my job as an MP for Savannah as a 9 to 5. In fact, it's a 24/7. Any day I'm not in Parliament, and even on weekends, I can be found at the community constituency office meeting with my people in Savannah. I took my oath in 2021 to serve very seriously, and serve I have. Tested, proven, and tried.
Thank you, Ms. Bodden.
Thank you.
Ms. Bush, do you need me to repeat the question?
Please.
Can you share why you've decided to run in this year's election and how you intend to represent the people of Savannah if elected?
There are a number of reasons why I've decided to run for a candidacy in the District of Savannah. I've spent over 25 years living in the Savannah Newlands area. I have been working behind the scenes, not only helping people in Savannah, but throughout the Cayman Islands by way of mentorship, as mentioned in my introduction, by way of finding jobs for people who otherwise didn't have them. I am fully dedicated to serving the people of Savannah. I've spent the last 33 years of my professional career being the voice for the people of the Cayman Islands. I think it's a very, very important and credible position to have because I've been able to see all sides of the issues that are created, that are here happening in our country. I know the challenges that the people of Savannah are facing because I too live them. I know about their struggles because I too struggle at times. My career has allowed me to hold people accountable, to hold myself accountable. It has allowed me to be transparent in everything that I do. It has allowed me to be visible in everything that I do. And now I want to take that visibility, transparency, accountability to the people of Savannah to be able to represent them, to have their voices heard on the next level, not just on a community level, because, I plan to deliver results on the ground, but also on a national level in the House of Parliament.
Thank you, Ms. Bush.
Okay, Ms. Bush, I'm going to start with me, and seeing as you were talking about the national level, what 3 national issues would you seek to address if elected?
There are a number of national issues that I seek to address. One of them would be traffic, the first thing, because it is affecting all of us, especially the people of Savannah, Prospect, the other eastern districts. Also, the cost of living, it's huge. It's, from meeting people in a community and reintroducing myself to people in the community and getting to know the new people in the Savannah community, the cost of living is affecting every single one of us. So also affordable housing. I speak to a lot of young people in Savannah who say that they want to own a home in their home. So those are the issues that I feel are really affecting us on a national level, but, they're also affecting us on a constituency level as well.
Thank you, Ms. Bush. Ms. Bodden, do you need me to repeat the question?
Thank you.
Okay. What 3 national issues would you seek to address if elected?
My first issue would be cost of living, second would be immigration, and the third would be housing. And these 3 issues are closely connected. Our islands are overpopulated as a result of immigration abuses, causing a shortage of accommodations. And this drives the cost of rent and has a direct impact on the cost of living. Immigration is a complex issue. We do not have a large enough Caymanian population to do all the jobs that it takes to keep our industries running. For this reason, we rely on guest workers. However, there are too many unemployed Caymanians who are seeking jobs that guest workers are being brought in to do. And there is a rise in immigration scams and abuses in the form of work permit rackets and other ways of gaming the system. We need to address the loopholes in our immigration laws that allow for workers to be abused, Caymanians to be sidelined, and the system to be circumvented. These gaps in our systems have led to natural consequences of overcrowding, such as traffic, housing shortages, and increased cost of living. We need to be plugging the loopholes in our immigration law and addressing overcrowding. Increase investment in affordable housing projects, not just high-end developments. Implement rent control policies to keep housing affordable. And encourage zoning reforms to allow for more residential construction. Where are these people living? Some are living in cars and vehicles in deplorable conditions. They're living in tents and people's storerooms and people's sheds. They're living in tents on the beach. And I'm even aware of a young Caymanian who's living in an abandoned boat. This is unacceptable. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bodden. We'll start with you for question number 3. Savannah has some of the most fertile land for agriculture, but a considerable amount has been converted for residential development over the past 10 years. What's your vision for the future development of Savannah?
The future development for Savannah in regards to farming, there's a lot of land that is being used already for farming. We have the best soil in Savannah. People are growing their crops. People are harvesting their crops. There's property available that people can have as far as bringing their crops to this property and planting whatever they need to be planted. We are obviously experiencing a very serious issue in our country with food security. And I recommend that more of our, probably the farmers markets, move out to the other ends of the district. If we can get more food provided, the better we will be. But the farmers' land is exactly what we're looking for. Land that can be used to cultivate, land that can be used to raise proper food for us to have in this situation.
Thank you, Ms. Bodden. Ms. Bush, would you like me to repeat the question?
Please.
Savannah has some of the most fertile land for agriculture, but a considerable amount has been converted for residential development over the past 10 years. What's your vision for the future development of Savannah?
My vision for the future development of Savannah as it relates to agriculture, I think it's an opportune time for us to use the soil of Savannah for backyard farming. As I canvassed throughout Savannah, I found multiple homes that had front and backyard farming. And I think it's something that the government can consider in offering grants to people to help them set up their backyard farming so that they can, share their produce with their neighbors and with others in the community. I think that agriculture is very, very important to us. You know, everything that we have is imported. We've looked at other areas of the world rather than the U.S., of importing stuff from the U.S., Jamaica, South and Central America. And those countries, can serve us, but only to a certain extent. Yes, it's cheaper to bring in the produce and what have you from those places. But I would also agree with the incumbent that having farmers markets in more districts rather than, let's say, stalls on the side of the street would certainly help us as well. But yeah, that's what I would envision for as far as agriculture in Savannah and the future development of agriculture on the whole.
Thank you, Ms. Bush.
Ms. Bush, from agriculture to financial services. So, Ms. Bush, the Department of Tourism receives substantially more funding to attract visitors and investors to the Cayman Islands than the financial services sector. By comparison, the financial services sector contributes substantially more to the economy. Would you support increasing the amount of funding to promote and support this essential industry sector?
Absolutely. Anything that we can, I think there has to be a balance and how much we invest in each industry. I mean, they are the two main pillars of our economy, but we have to figure out a way to balance what we invest in both and provide as far as funding in both tourism and financial services industry. I think it's something that we need to look at seriously as a country, and so that there's no disparity in what each of these industries are getting as far as government funding and revenue.
Thank you, Ms. Bush. Ms. Bodden, the Department of Tourism receives substantially more in funding to attract visitors and investors to the Cayman Islands than the financial services sector. By comparison, the financial services sector contributes substantially more to the economy. Would you support increasing the amount of funding to promote and support this essential industry sector?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have two pillars, which is tourism and the finance, and I definitely would support increasing the amount of funding to promote and support this essential industry sector. We have come to a crossroads where right now we are finding that tourism figures are lower when it comes to cruise tourism, and we're depending on the financial industry side of things. So definitely, I would support the essential industry sector.
Thank you, Ms.
Well, thank you, candidates. We've gone through the first 4 questions. We're going to take a short commercial break. Please stay tuned.
When you run your own business, you have a career as an accountant, stock taker, delivery driver, therapist, legal expert, mother, father, and the rest. But there's one area you don't need to be an expert in. At Brava, we take the complexity out of your business solutions. We keep it simple, so you can get along with doing what you do. Brava, the Simplify My Business company.
Welcome to the MyCUC portal. We know navigating programs can be tricky, so we're here to guide you through understanding your utility costs. Once logged in, choose Customer Connect in the far left. You will land on My Dashboard. Here, you will see a graph highlighting your electricity usage in progress. The blue line reflects the outside temperature, while the green columns show your kilowatt hour used. The Progress tab compares your current month's usage to the previous month and even projects your usage for the month. You can move the charts around to suit your liking. Under Reports, see Meter Rates, Usage Charts, Time Period Comparisons, Rate Comparisons, and your progress. In Settings, set up your profile, adjust meter names to your preference, or set threshold notifications to help you manage your consumption. The MyCUC portal, making it easy to stay on top of your energy consumption.
Welcome back to the Chamber of Commerce Candidates Forum for the constituency of Savannah. We've gone through the first 4 questions. Now the candidates will pose the next 4 questions, and we'll begin with human capital planning, and I'll turn it over to Chamber President Omari Corbin.
Thank you, Will. Ms. Bodden, we'll start with you for question number 5. Many Caymanian students who return from overseas often complain that they can't find meaningful employment in their field of study when they return home. What strategies would you propose to connect returning students with employers?
That's a very good question, and I thank you because we are experiencing that very often now. Students are returning home from overseas and not finding the jobs. There has to be some sort of way for the government or for the private sector to work out where these young students that are returning find their positions that they have studied overseas for. We know that there are foreign workers that fill these positions, and my thought process on it would be that the foreign workers train these overseas students returning, put them in a position where they can realize what they're doing, that they can then step into the position later on. But it has to be a way of some sort where our students that are returning from overseas can fill these positions, because I right now am receiving phone calls from students that are overseas that have finished school, finished their degree, and cannot get work here, so they are remaining in the U.S. or in the U.K. to find work. So there has to be some sort of policy put in place where these people, when these students return, they have a position.
Thank you, Ms. Bodden. Ms. Bush, do you need me to repeat the question?
Sure, please. Thank you.
Many Caymanian students who return from school overseas often complain that they can't find meaningful employment in the field of study when they return home. What strategies would you propose to connect returning students with employers?
I think there are a number of things that we can do. I like the idea personally of government being able to identify students who are overseas. I mean, we give a lot of these students scholarships. So why are we not able to identify students when they're going to be returning? I mean, we can simply look at the graduation years of these students and identify when they're going to be coming home, what they studied at university, and almost plan ahead to identify jobs for them, help them in that regard. You know, if let's say someone studies marketing, I mean, there's no reason why maybe even the scholarship secretariat can, you know, ahead of time help those students to source employment before they actually return home. Also, another thing is I think it's important we're seeing a lot of students these days that are studying very specific careers that are not easily, that their career path may not be easily filled with specific jobs here in Cayman. But why don't we encourage and almost help and assist financially those students who, you know, may not be able to, we can't identify jobs for them as they come home, but they can stay overseas, and we can help to connect them with employers overseas so that they can get the experience that they need, so that when they come home, they can get the top jobs that are there and available for them.
Thank you, Ms. Bush.
Right, Ms. Bush, we're on the same. When you both spoke about national issues, traffic was mentioned, so now it's time for solutions.
Sure.
What strategies would you support or propose to improve traffic conditions for the residents of Savannah?
Savannah's in the midst of everything. You know, we have the east-west arterial that has just hit a roadblock right at the end of Hearst Road. The east-west arterial has been in planned transportation plan for many, many years. We realize the importance of having that roadway system straight through to East End for various reasons, not only to relieve traffic congestion, but also to be an emergency route in case we're ever hit by another, let's say, Hurricane Ivan, that we have another option on roadway to take us from, you know, the eastern side to the western side of the island. We know that the east-west arterial needs to be completed. We know that there are some environmental concerns in getting that road completed. I feel that what we need to do is to have all the stakeholders at the table, have them all converse, have discussions, and figure out the best way forward for the people of the Cayman Islands and Savannah.
Thank you, Ms. Bush. Ms. Bodden, do you need me to repeat the question?
Thank you.
What strategies would you support or propose to improve traffic conditions for the residents of Savannah?
Thank you, Mr. Scott. All districts east of Georgetown are facing horrible traffic in the mornings and evenings. I can sit in my office or on my back porch in the evenings, and I can witness that bumper to bumper. And I am very much in support of the east-west arterial extension in a way that makes sense. And we would support the B2 route, which will be less expensive and destructive to the environment. However, I believe there are other measures we need to be considering, because even with the east-west arterial extension, we will still end up with a bottleneck at Hurley's. So I will support measures that will need a national bus service with clear schedules, locations of pickup that is government-owned and run. There are also too many vehicles on Cayman's roads. As part of immigration reform, we should be preventing the importation of vehicles by persons on work permits. There are a number of persons on work permits who have turned importing cars into an unregistered business. We should also consider moving some of the government businesses into the eastern districts. We've done it before with great success. We just look at the traffic department office that's located in Breakers. They do good work, and they allow people to access government services without having to join traffic to go into town. We also need to get creative about school and work time staggering time.
Thank you, Ms. Bodden.
Ms. Bodden, will start with you for question number 7. One way to reduce the amount of trash that enters the landfills in Grand Cayman and Cayman Brac would be to mandate recycling for residents and businesses. Would you support this approach? Why or why not?
Recycling is definitely the way to go, and I have been promoting that for a very long time. As the person that's been put in charge of beautification projects for many years, this is something that I've worked very hard and very long at. Of course, I would support the effort, but we need to have it where it's mandatory, and it's something that people have an understanding that it will save all of the trash going in our landfill. Right now, we've just seen where glass bottles are being used by the Flowers Block Factory Company. They're using the bottles now to crush and put into the pavers. That was something that was suggested many years ago, that maybe bottles should be used to put into asphalt. We are seeing an increase, and we are definitely have to do something in regards to the trash that's growing in our country. We have to definitely work at it, and recycling is definitely the way to go. And I would really mandate recycling for residents and businesses, and I would support this approach, definitely.
Thank you, Ms. Bodden. Ms. Bush, do you need me to repeat the question? One way to reduce the amount of trash that enters landfills in Grand Cayman and Cayman Brac would be to mandate recycling for residents and businesses. Would you support this approach? Why or why not?
I would absolutely support the mandatory idea of recycling in our country. I think it's maybe a longer term fix, because you have to consider that the mindset of our people, is not where it should be as far as recycling is concerned. If we make it mandatory, maybe we'll get there quicker, but definitely I think that it would take lots of education and just a shift in the mindset of our people, even if it's made mandatory. As it relates to the trash, we've seen the Regen project come to the table, and was halted basically because of you know, the financial parts of that project came to a halt, and nothing was ever moved forward. But it really was, for me, the biggest prevention for what's happening at our landfill. I mean, having a proper waste management system in place is really what's going to be in the long-term best interest of the Caymanian people and our waste management system in managing waste. But yes, I do agree that we need to put some mandatory recycling initiatives in place. It's just going to take a change in mindset.
Thank you, Ms. Bush.
Ms. Bush, me again. So question 8, and right up my alley. So we spoke about financial services before. Now we're speaking about cruise tourism. So the cruise referendum, do you support the cruise referendum? Why or why not?
I absolutely support the cruise referendum, because that is where we hear the voice of the people. When the voters go to the polls on the 30th of April, one of the questions relates to that. You know, do we want cruise tourism or cruise port or not? So I think it's in the court of the people. I support it. I support the referendum because it's freedom of choice. It's a democratic right of people to decide on these issues of national importance that's going to, you know, impact us in so many ways, that has, you know, benefits and risks that come with it. So I absolutely support the cruise port referendum.
Thank you, Ms. Bush. Ms. Bodden, do you support the cruise referendum? Why or why not?
Thank you very much, Shamari. While I'm a strong supporter of tourism, having served as the Parliamentary Secretary for Tourism, I think we need more detailed data addressing the full impact of the cruise lines on our delicate ecosystem. Is still needed to make an informed decision. However, this matter now is in the hands of the people for them to vote on the 30th of April, and I will abide by the will of the people of the Cayman Islands. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bodden.
Gone through 8 questions. We'll come back with 4 more for the candidates. Ask everyone to stay tuned. We'll be back right after this commercial break.
For the past 58 years, CUC has strived to be more than just an electricity provider. We have sought to be a foundational company. We give back to our community, and with the hard work and dedication of our employees, we have built and maintained one of the safest and most reliable electricity grids in the region. As we all look to the future, we at CUC want the Grand Cayman community to have confidence that our commitment to you will continue. Join us as we continue this journey together at empoweringcayman.com.
When you run your own business, you have a career as an accountant, stock taker, delivery driver, therapist, legal expert, mother, father, and the rest. But there's one area you don't need to be an expert in. At Brava, we take the complexity out of your business solutions. We keep it simple, so you can get along with doing what you do. Brava, the Simplify My Business company.
Why is my bill higher? These days, it might seem like the cost of everything is going up here in Cayman. When it comes to your energy bill, this may be no exception. You may be wondering why your bill is higher when you haven't done anything different in your home. Here are some common factors that will increase your energy usage. As temperatures outside increase, your air conditioning unit has to run longer to keep your house cool, even if you haven't adjusted the thermostat. During the summer months, cooling your home can make up more than half of your energy bill. It's important to maintain your AC so that it can function as efficiently as possible. Changing your AC filters can also help with ensuring units are functioning properly. Remember, for every degree you turn up your thermostat, you can save on your monthly energy cost. Turn off your AC when no one is home. Thermostat should not be set any lower than 78 degrees. Also consider closing blinds and drapes on the sunny side of your home. This will help reduce the temperature inside your home. Remember to consider energy waste. Think about the items in your home that are using energy, like gaming computers and ceiling fans. Always unplug and turn these items off when they are not in use or needed. This will help you conserve. Now that you have some energy saving tips, you can track your consumption daily on MyCUC. Learn more at www.cuc-cayman.com.
When you run your own business, you have a career as an accountant, stock taker, delivery driver, therapist, legal expert, mother, father, and the rest. But there's one area you don't need to be an expert in. At Brava, we take the complexity out of your business solutions. We keep it simple, so you can get along with doing what you do. Brava, the Simplify My Business company.
Welcome back to the Chamber of Commerce Candidates Forum for the constituency of Savannah. We've gone through 8 questions now, and now we're going to turn over to the next question, which will deal with the immigration white paper, and I'll turn it over to President Omari Corbin.
Thank you, Will. Ms. Bodden, we'll start with you for question number 9. The immigration white paper is proposing that work permit holders will be permitted to change jobs only if they leave the island for 12 months. Do you support this recommendation? Why or why not?
As I've said, the immigration issue is a complex one. It impacts housing, traffic, crime, cost of living. I do not support a more restrictive definition of what it means to be Caymanian. We have enough division in the country already. However, there does need to be immigration reform. Whatever we choose to do needs to be based on data, with a clear vision of where we want the country to go. For instance, if we are collecting good data, we should be able to know if we need more plumbers. If we know we need more plumbers, we need to be making more decisions about how to train more Caymanians in plumbing and have some idea of how many guest workers we need to do plumbing jobs. The white paper is proposing that work permit holders will be permitted to change jobs only if they leave the island for 12 months. I support that recommendation based on what I just answered. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bodden. Ms. Bush, do you need me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
The immigration white paper is proposing that work permit holders be permitted to change jobs only if they leave the island for 12 months. Do you support this recommendation? Why or why not?
The discussion white paper was released last year, May, in 2024. There's a series of recommendations that come within that white paper. Do I agree that permit holders should will be permitted to change jobs only if they leave the island for 12 months? That is something that I believe needs to be looked at with the other recommendations to see what really works best for as it relates to reform. I personally, it's something that I think could be more in depth. I think we need to take a more in-depth look at some of the recommendations that are in that white paper. And, I think that people out there really need to educate themselves on exactly what recommendations are in the white paper. And they can do that simply by going online at the parliament.ky website and, come to your own conclusions, have your own thoughts on exactly what that discussion paper is recommending. I think that most Caymanians would probably take a closer look and even make other recommendations that would be more appropriate.
Thank you, Ms. Bush.
And we have a treat because this question is actually from one of your constituents.
Okay.
They sent this in. So for question number 10, I'm going to ask you, as Savannah continues to experience fast growth, what is the comprehensive 2-year plan for education that you would put forth in our district?
Can you repeat the question, please?
As Savannah continues to experience fast growth, what is your comprehensive 2-year plan for education in our district?
Well, we have the primary school that's the Joanna Clark Primary School that's in Savannah. And Savannah is, I would say, probably the fastest growing constituency in the Eastern Districts. I know that school needs a new hall, a larger hall, to be able to fit the students that they, and be able to have the events and stuff at the school there. It may mean us increasing the space on the school and creating more classrooms at that level. I mean, we have the Clifton Hunter High School that is in the North Side area. So I believe that, a 2-year plan for education. I went to a constituent the other day, and she was homeschooling her kids. Homeschooling is becoming a bigger option, a more popular option for a lot of parents because they want to avoid things like traffic in the mornings. Some parents are not able to be home in the evenings when their children get home, so they find that they can homeschool them at an earlier during the day. But a 2-year plan, I just think, would be to look at the size of the Joanna Clark Primary School for our younger kids, our primary school age kids, and how we can build a bigger facility that has been primarily the same size for a very, very long time. That would be part of my 2-year plan.
Thank you, Ms. Bush. Ms. Bodden, as Savannah continues to experience fast growth, what is your comprehensive 2-year plan for education in our district?
Good question. Savannah School is bursting at its seams. We have almost 550 students there. We have to do something quick. As one of the fastest growing communities, we need to find space at that school. I recall when I got elected in 2021, there were funds assigned to a community hall and a school hall, which would then operate as a hurricane shelter. That has not happened. For the next 2 years, you can bet that I will be working towards making sure that school hall is constructed to accommodate the amount of students that wish to attend the Joanna Clark Savannah Primary School. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bodden.
Ms. Bodden, we'll start with you for question number 11. Do you support an increase in the minimum wage? If yes, would you support the rate of $8.75 CI proposed by the Minimum Wage Advisory Committee?
Absolutely. The changes that we all have called to The minimum wage has been kicked down the road for far too long. We need to put the needs of our people above self-interest. People are working in our communities for a mere $6 an hour, and they're facing the same cost of living crisis as everyone else. These people have to live, eat, and sleep too. In 2024, there was a proposed increase to $8.75 per hour. This increase has yet to be brought into law and is still lower than what the International Labour Organization would consider to be a living wage, between $10 and $12 an hour. If I am re-elected, I will support the proposed increase of the minimum wage. All people working in Cayman need to be able to live, eat, and pay for housing. We cannot have parents holding 2 and 3 jobs just to make ends meet because they are making a meager wage. I thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bodden. Ms. Bush, do you need me to repeat the question?
Answer the question. I do support a minimum wage. The 875 that's proposed by the Minimum Wage Advisory Committee, I think, is almost not enough. But we have to take the steps necessary to move forward with increasing the minimum wage for people in our country. You know, when you think about the amount of money that people are paid per hour as a minimum wage, I don't know how they're able to do it. So again, I believe that 875 is not even enough, but it's a good place to start. I just think that we really need to push for this to happen to make life better for our people. We have to keep, we have to stop holding back on these things. You know, we take these things out for consultation, and then we come back with answers and recommendations, and then it's halted. We can no longer afford to do that. So yes, I wholeheartedly support a minimum wage of $8.75 to start, and that's just to start.
Thank you, Ms. Bush.
All right, Ms. Bush, we're going to speak about cost of living, and I think you had raised that as well as one of your key factors that you would address.
Yep.
So now we're going to ask how you would propose to reduce the cost of living for residents if elected.
There are so many ways to reduce the cost of living, but some of the things that come to my mind are to focus on cutting healthcare costs. The PPM party proposes to provide free basic health care to all children in the Cayman Islands under the age of 18, and to expand on health care that is offered to our elderly who need it the most, as well as to our retirees. Some other things as it relates to cutting the cost of living in the Cayman Islands is, I mean, one of the first things that people think about at cost of living, they think about food. There's not a whole lot that can be done with cutting the cost of food because we import everything into the Cayman Islands. And, it's easy to say, oh, well, you can cut duty, you can do this, you can do that. But those things are pretty much out of reach as well. So healthcare costs is one of the things. Also, to make housing more affordable, the PPM party proposes to, continue with a rent-to-own program for persons to be able to afford homes. They propose to start to help with down payments on properties and land for our citizens, for Caymanians as well, and to expand on other programs that are in place, such as the Government Assistance Home Program, so that we can get people into homes, but homes that they can afford to have, homes that they, when they're making salaries at a certain level, that they're able to, so almost like a tier system, if that makes sense. Yeah, but healthcare is one of the major things that we see that we can put money back in the pocketbooks of people.
Thank you, Ms. Bush. Ms. Bodden, would you like me to repeat the question?
Thank you.
Cost of living. How would you propose to reduce the cost of living for residents?
Thank you, Mr. Scott. The main drivers of our cost of living are housing, electricity, food, and health insurance. Housing, we have a shortage of housing that is driving the cost of housing up. It is time for us to think outside the box when it comes to housing. We need to be considering affordable housing development. Why are we not looking at how to build container homes? We have people here in this country that have done it, and it's worked out. There are some here already that have done very well through hurricanes and have been designed to look appropriate in their neighborhoods. We also need to be considering rent control policies to prevent these steep rises in rent. If we intend to sustain this population level, we need to be proactive in creating more housing that isn't luxury property. Developers who are coming here to invest in large developments should be able to do so without contributing to our local housing infrastructure. Electricity, we need to support solar initiatives with all the bright sunshine we enjoy in Cayman. And we need to work to make our buildings more energy efficient. Food security is a matter that my colleagues at the TCCP and I are paying close attention to. We should be getting creative about where we source our food from, looking to regional sources and supporting our local farmers to provide what we can for ourselves. Health insurance, we need to make sure the access to health care for our seniors and children who need government support is easy to access and doesn't involve standing in long lines at NAU, which is now DFA. That's what we need to be considering.
Thank you, Ms. Bodden.
Well, I'd like to thank the candidates. We've gone to 12 questions, so that's the end of the questions for this evening. Now we're going to take a short commercial break, and when we return, each of the candidates will deliver closing remarks. Please stay tuned.
For the past 58 years, CUC has strived to be more than just an electricity provider. We have sought to be a foundational company. We give back to our community, and with the hard work and dedication of our employees, we have built and maintained one of the safest and most reliable electricity grids in the region. As we all look to the future, we at CUC want the Grand Cayman community to have confidence that our commitment to you will continue. Join us as we continue this journey together at empoweringcayman.com.
When you run your own business, you have a career as an accountant, stock taker, delivery driver, therapist, legal expert, mother, father, and the rest. But there's one area you don't need to be an expert in. At Brava, we take the complexity out of your business solutions. We keep it simple, so you can get along with doing what you do. Brava, the Simplify My Business company.
Welcome back to the Chamber of Commerce Candidates Forum for the constituency of Savannah. We've gone through 12 questions, and the candidates have responded to those questions. Now we turn over to the closing remarks. Each candidate will be given 2.5 minutes to deliver closing remarks, and we'll begin with Ms. Heather Bodden.
Thank you, Mr. Pinot. Thank you, Mr. Corbin, and thank you, Mr. Scott. People of Savannah and the Cayman Islands, It has been my honor to serve my community, and it will be my honor to continue to do so. I have spoken tonight of my vision and values, which also align with the other members of my party, the Caymanian Community Party. My record speaks for itself. I have ensured our neighborhoods are safe with street lighting and highly visible neighborhood watch programs. With the help of others, we have upgraded the Savannah playfield, making it a safer, multi-purpose facility for our youth and community. I have met regularly with the Bodden Town RCIPS community beat officers, sharing the concerns of the people. I have spent time with our youth, our elderly, and our vulnerable, attending to their needs. I have worked tirelessly on beautification projects throughout the Cayman Islands. I have improved Savannah's infrastructure and storm resilience with deep wells, speed bumps, and pedestrian traffic signs. I have worked hard to improve the safety of the Joanna Clark Savannah Primary School by improving the entry to the school with a dedicated turning lane. I have practiced what I preach by keeping Savannah clean, well-maintained, and welcoming. I have implemented programs for our seniors for the past 37 years. I have supported the youth group nights at the playfield. As the former parliamentary secretary for social development, I supported and advocated for much-needed revisions to the Older Persons Act and the Adoption Act, both of which were long overdue. I have supported the passing of the Sexual Harassment Act, which was also very important to me. Tonight, I recognize that we are at a crossroads in our country where we have a lot to lose if we do not stand up for what is right for our country. Over this past term, there have been difficult times in which I've had to make tough decisions in service of my constituency and my country. I've conducted myself in a way that I can be proud of, standing up for integrity, good governance, and doing the right thing. I thank you very much, and I trust the people of Savannah and New Orleans will put me back in.
Ms. Donna Bush.
The people of Savannah, I ask you to give me the opportunity to represent you because I deliver. I've always delivered in my professional career. I always deliver. You that are out there that know if you call me, I've always been there. I've always tried to get the answers for you, and I always get the answers for you, and I help in any way. I, too, have dedicated my life to service of our young people in this country, our young women, through mentoring them, through helping them build their confidence, that's they're able to walk into doors that they wouldn't normally be able to walk into. I've helped countless amounts of people find jobs in this country. Something that I don't talk about, this is something that people probably don't know a lot about me. They only see the Donna Bush that's on TV. I've been a voice for you all. I will continue to fight if you give me the opportunity and elect me as your new MP for Savannah. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean, and I do what I mean, what I say as well. I'm a hardworking individual. I am fully transparent. I can promise you that I will listen to you as I've been doing. I will work for you. I will fight for you on a national level, not just at a community level. It's far beyond that now. I hear you, the people of Savannah, and I just ask you that you consider giving me this opportunity to represent you for the next 4 years and beyond. I've aligned myself with the PPM party. They are the proven, stable leaders of this country. The last time that we were in the best financial position in this country was under the PPM leadership. I want to be a part of that leadership to take our country forward, to deal with the forward thinkers, the young people in our community, the next generation. They are the forward thinkers, and I want to have them help me and the PPM to lead our country where it needs to be. I thank you for your time, and thank you, the Chamber, as well, for your time and for allowing us the opportunity to be here to share our views tonight. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, ladies. It's been a pleasure. Now I'm going to turn it over to Chamber President Omari Corbin for some closing remarks.
Thanks, Will. On behalf of the Chamber Council and staff, I would like to thank Ms. Heather Bodden and Ms. Donna Bush for participating in this evening's forum. I trust that this forum will help Savannah voters make informed decisions about who to vote for when they go to the polls on April 30th. I would also like to thank Ashley Furniture and Home Store, CUC, Foster's, and Logic for sponsoring the Chamber's candidate forums. Please join us tomorrow evening as we welcome the candidates from Newlands, Raul Gonzalez Jr., Wayne Panton, and Alva Suku. Please note that all forums will be posted on the Chamber's YouTube channel for your future reference. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that you will join us tomorrow evening, and please have a good night.
When you run your own business, you have a career as an accountant, stock taker, delivery driver, therapist, legal expert, mother, father, and the rest. But there's one area you don't need to be an expert in. At Brava, we take the complexity out of your business solutions. We keep it simple, so you can get along with doing what you do. Brava, the Simplify My Business company.
Welcome to the MyCUC portal. We know navigating programs can be tricky, so we're here to guide you through understanding your utility costs. Once logged in, choose Customer Connect in the far left. You will land on My Dashboard. Here, you will see a graph highlighting your electricity usage in progress. The blue line reflects the outside temperature, while the green columns show your kilowatt hour used. The Progress tab compares your current month's usage to the previous month and even projects your usage for the month. You can move the charts around to suit your liking. Under Reports, see Meter Rates, Usage Charts, Time Period Comparisons, Rate Comparisons, and your progress. In Settings, set up your profile, adjust meter names to your preference, or set threshold notifications to help you manage your consumption. The MyCUC portal, making it easy to stay on top of your energy consumption.